I don't give to everybody, but I really give to the people that I fuck with. You know what I mean? Like openly and freely. So sometimes I try and like just filter if something's new, not out of like apprehension, but just to make sure that I'm paying attention to where I give my energy and put it. You know what I mean? But, you know, even with this process, I just realized I'm like, yo, just let it be. Like it's coming to me through somebody I trust and you're doing something that I saw and I like. So I was like, just roll with it. I'm preparing to lose someone. You know what I mean? Like they might not die, but they might. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to be hopeful, but also prepare myself for what is inevitable, but what might be more immediate than I anticipated. And you know, it makes it harder for me to focus because I don't really want to. I don't want to think about that too much right now because I can't control it. But I'm trying to just kind of be present in other things. I'm trying to create space for things that are important to me, things that I can't control, and things that are deeply meaningful, but also just be present in other things that require my attention. So I'm trying to find balance right now. Sometimes I'm better with it than others, but my routines, like, yeah, I wake up, do push-ups, sit-ups, squats, like little exercises I can do in the crib. I make some tea, make breakfast. I sit down and I write. I write in my journal often just to, you know, when I write in my journal, I never go back and read it. It's just a process of getting my thoughts out. It helps me to just organize myself. Sometimes I spend like 10 minutes meditating, like just a combination of these things. When I am doing those things, having that morning routine, starting my day, that is the thing that helps me clear my mind and focus the most. And I have been very disciplined with it at times and less so at others, but those things help me just kind of start my day right and stay focused and be clear. I grew up as an only child. I have siblings, but I grew up with my mother, just me and her, for most of my life. And so I know how to be alone, but I hated being alone when I was young. You know what I mean? Like my friends, it's like them and they sisters, even if they didn't get along with their siblings, I loved that they had each other. Now, I appreciate solitude differently. You know what I mean? Like I'm good. Like I'm not the person really to go to the movies by myself or go to dinner by myself. I've done it and I enjoy it, but it's not my first instinct. But you know, when I went to Jamaica, I went by myself for 3 months to give myself a residency and like just being in a different place. And I had, you know, there were times when people came, you know, people would come visit me and I spent time with other people. I didn't isolate myself, but I've learned to just be alone with my thoughts. And sometimes it is the best thing in the world and sometimes it is more challenging, but I can do it. I've learned how to do it. I've spent a lot of time navigating life with only my voice. My mother is from Jamaica. She was born there. Her parents moved here to pursue great opportunities for a future that weren't available to them. So and I'm the first one born on that side of my family. So I'm first generation American and I'm the oldest. So they didn't come here to have an artist. You know what I mean? Like somebody be like, yo, I'm gonna be an artist. That said, you know, like the goal was for me to be a doctor or a lawyer, but no one put that pressure on me. And even though my mother didn't understand perhaps what kind of future I could have with the things that interested me, I'm not gonna say she encouraged me to be an artist, but she wasn't an obstacle to it either. You know what I mean? She gave me the room and space and supported me. When I wanted to go to art school, she sent me to art school. So, you know, I had a family who didn't know what was possible on a career path because just like I didn't know any working artists, they didn't either. So that's a fair thing. But I think that they recognized what they instilled in me, and they trusted me enough to feel like the good sense they gave me and all the ways they've, invested in me, they trusted me to go and pursue this thing that I could see that they couldn't see as clearly. I was fortunate enough to meet a teacher who recognized something in me and encouraged me to expose me to graphic design, told me they thought I would be good at it. And that was all I needed. I was like, I could be an artist and have a job. It seemed like a very practical thing to do. So I pursued graphic design, and I'm good at it. It's very rewarding to me, and I love it. And that is a form of art, but I got to express myself using my voice and my tools. I added value to things, but the thing that I am making is ultimately expressing someone else's ideas. In album packaging, I'm representing someone else's, my art is complementing somebody else's art. So I love what I have done. It is meaningful to me, but I got to a point where I'm like, I got to get my ideas out without any buffer, without any filter, without anyone else having kind of a say-so on what I'm making. So now I'm doing the same thing I've always been doing, but I'm changing whose voice I'm magnifying as my own instead of someone else's. I've spent a lot of time working to create change in my life as an artist, to work on things that I've been scared to pursue at different points in time. And not scared of the result or scared of my ability, but scared to just rely on the things that give me the most fulfillment to provide for me in life. And what I mean by that is like, I make art because of how it makes me feel about myself, about putting things out into the world. But when I've made a choice to make space for that in my life, it comes with a different type of responsibility and pressure. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, if I want to pour myself into this and only be present for that, then I have to rely on what comes as a result of it. I need to make those things. I don't make art for money, but I need money to have the space to make the art. You know what I mean? So I'm really happy with what I've been creating. I'm so proud of myself. But I'm also realizing that the way that it matures and evolves and gets to a space of taking care of me is on a timeline that I don't control. I take these great steps in the anticipation of what the results will be. Sometimes they're different. But I'm realizing, I've always known, but I'm reminding myself now that the success of what I'm doing is just doing it. It's not how people react to it. It's not measured in dollars and cents. But I have to just reconcile the fact that, when there are like these external forces, like I got a studio to maintain, I got to pay rent, I got things that are very real and tangible things to manage. And when I make a decision to say no to a client to make space to do my artwork, I just got to remember the determination and the courage it took to say no when it's time to, pay money that that I sacrificed. I sacrificed an opportunity. I sacrificed the ability to have something tangible to pursue something that I just believe in that is in the future. So, at times I'm deterred in the short term just because I think about the practicality of just living and being able to provide for myself and thinking of the people who rely on me. But I keep going because I believe in myself. Like nothing's gonna really take me off of the path that I'm on. Every person has the ability to be the best at something. You know what I mean? And I think the unfortunate thing is some of us don't realize what it is that we are most special at. Some of us, like, life puts obstacles in our way where we don't have the room to pursue it. Some of us get knocked down and don't go for it. So I just feel like, yo, when I had a chance to say something, I'm gonna say something. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make it count. My goal is to do the things in this world, get to the place where I can do the things that only I can do. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like um, I don't have time to waste. Like, I feel like if I had a chance to say something and make it count, then I want to do that. And as I mature, as I get older, you know, we all lose people. You know what I mean? Like, the longer we're here, we realize how fortunate to be here, and we don't have we don't determine how long we're here for the most part. So I just feel like at this moment, I've waited a long time to pursue making my own art, not client work. So I just feel like I'm trying to just say what I gotta say while I have a opportunity to say it. I'm not trying to wait or play around and be like, yo, like, I'll get to it. I'm trying to get it all out now. So the Supremacy Project work that I'm doing is really a response to, it's about social justice. It's about how just the conditions of the world, and not even the immediate cycle of we're dealing with this today. That's a part of it, but it's really about like past, present, future. It's about what we've been dealing with, where we are now, and how we want to move forward, and how we can all be active, because the little things that we do count, or the ways that we show up. You know what I mean? Like, everybody doesn't need to be on the front lines fighting. Everybody can't be marching with a picket sign either. You know what I mean? Some people bake, and they're the ones who can feed people and give them the energy to do whatever. Like, whatever we can do to help change the world, big or small, counts. And for me, in this moment, the best thing that I can do is share art about the perspective. The other work that I'm doing, which doesn't carry the Supremacy Project banner, but a lot of the work that I am making, the paintings, they're just showing like the beauty of people, like people who aren't, in many cases, they're not famous, they're not notable, but they are beautiful people, and they're beautiful despite all of that ugliness and trauma, like just the resilience of us. Like, yeah, we deal with so much, but we still had the ability to love each other, to raise our kids, to be part of our community. Like, every person you see is the most important person in the world to somebody. So I'm just trying to shine light on who we are and our fullness. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain people that I've encountered or been hurt by, people in my family that have, you know, just people. Sometimes they don't show up in the way that you want or need them to. And sometimes I have more patience or greater understanding for the person who I see in the street who's having a hard time versus the person I've known all my life who's struggling with something. So at this point in my life, and with my challenges and the way, you know, there are people in my life who rely on me who think I don't show up in the way that they would want me to. And it's not intentional, but yo, like, we all are full people. We do great at some things, and we need to work harder at other things. So I'm trying to use my art to just show the fullness of us. You go through these stages of life, like where somebody's totally dependent on you, to the place where you start to see their character develop in different ways, and you try and nurture them, and you try and teach them how to care for themselves. Like, I tell people sometimes, one of the things I learned about being a parent, like, I let my children, I have two children. I talk about my son often because he's an artist, but I have two children who I love very much. And I would let them fall off their bike, but I won't let them play in the street. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to learn how to you got to give them the room to learn and experiment and take their bumps and bruises, but you also got to make sure you keep them safe. You know what I mean? And finding that balance, you'll learn a lot about yourself. I used to think, oh, I'm like the same. I treat them exactly the same. And I learned that there's a difference in how I parented them. When my son didn't want to hold my hand, I'm like, yo, that's my little man, go ahead. When my daughter didn't want to hold my hand, I was heartbroken. You know what I mean? So, you know, so you just learn a lot about yourself. And that has helped me develop and nurture. And I've learned a lot about where I do well, where I need to improve. And it has taught me a lot about love. And it's a different type of love that I hadn't experienced until I became a parent. And how it influences my art is, you know, my son is an artist. He's an amazing artist. Like right now, he motivates me. Like I'm learning so much from my son, and I'm inspired by watching him. He's helping me. He's inspiring me. He's my favorite artist in the world. You know, even the timing of my transition from graphic designer into the art space that I'm in now has a lot to do with the fact that my children are both adults now, because I feel like I'm gambling with house money. You know what I mean? Like if I have like, I'm not trying to get to the point where this art has to pay for tuition. Like we're past that point. You know what I mean? So it gives me a lot more freedom to just expand and experience things a little bit differently. So it's all created. Like being a father, just like being an artist, is just part of who I am. You know, like once you get in that space, it just, you're there. It's a part of everything. I've gotten to a point where I was just like, yo, man, there are things that I'm waiting for people to give me. But I just like, yo, I've worked, I made money, I saved money. I can give those things to myself. So sometimes freedom is a matter of just being like, yo, man, like if somebody not gonna give me that, I can sit and wait, or I can just do what I want to do. And that's the space that I'm trying to operate in to the greatest of my ability. And it's not to say that I can do everything that I want to do, but yo, man, like I've realized part of what has happened to me as I've grown is just the ability to recognize that I am a leader. You know what I mean? And leaders, I think good leaders are also good followers. You know when to follow, you know who to follow, but you know when it's time to just go your own way. And that to me is a kind of freedom. It's when I'm exercising. It comes with great rewards. It comes with great risks. It comes with great disappointment. But freedom for me is just gambling on myself. I don't know that my mother fully knows what I do still, but they're proud of me. You know what I mean? And they know that it's possible. And now that my son is an artist, they're like, yo, he's gonna be good. Like they're fully invested in it. Like my family is proud of me. They believe in how I turned out, that I did okay for myself. They saw me be able to provide for myself and my family. They continue to support me, but it has affected generations of my family because the adults see the livelihood that I made for myself in terms of like my level of success and measurable things. Like even though my mother, she knows I did album covers, but she's like, he has a Grammy. Like she brags on me to her friends. And then I think to my son, he had the example of an artist. So from the time he was way younger, he would tell you that's what he wants to be because he's seen the example. So I could see how the older generation of my family was affected and the younger generation of my family is affected. So it's like, you know, we all see the value in artistry and the potential of it, but we arrived at that understanding differently. The story that I tell myself about who I am and what I'm here to do is way bigger than what I express to others. And now I'm trying to just actively work on that stuff. Like I want to be an artist that is a generational artist, that like my art outlives me. I want to leave something behind for my children, all of my ancestors, everybody that comes from me and my family line. I would like them to be able to look and be like, you know, I'm great because I come from greatness. And it's not only measured by the art that I make, it's measured by how we live our lives.